Hi there, it's Kevin Ward again, and in the last video we talked about the 3 magic words to lead sellers to a decision to hire you, and that is getting them to say yes, yes, yes. And when you get them to say yes to you, they will continue to say yes to you, which will ultimately lead to the big yes. Now in this video, I want to talk about what I call, for lack of a better term, the anti-magic words. And these are things that we say as real estate agents that agents are notorious of saying in scripts that I've even seen agents trained and taught to say that actually cause a seller to want to say no to you. And it actually leads the conversation in the wrong direction. If you want to be able to lead them to a decision, to set an appointment with you, to talk about helping them sell their house so they can move to where they want to go, these are the kinds of things you do not want to do or do not want to say, because they will almost force the seller into telling you no. And the problem with that is something that Andrew Carnegie taught us, or Dale Carnegie rather, taught us years ago in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, when he said, ask questions that lead people to say yes to you rather than questions that lead people to say no to you. Because subconsciously, once a person says no to you, once they say no to something that you want them to do or ask them to do, it's very difficult for them subconsciously to ever change their mind and say yes. So there's 2 things that we say, or 2 ways that we ask questions that actually cause people to say no to you or make it harder for them to say yes to you. And the first one is we ask what I call it's a negative frame question. So a negative frame question simply is a question that we ask in a way that leads them the direction we don't want the conversation to go. So let's say, for example, that you're talking to an expired listing and they say, well, we decided we're not moving. We're not going to sell the house. And I've heard this script many, many times, is they go like, oh, you're taking that, so you decided not to sell. So even if I brought you a full price offer today, you wouldn't sell it? Now think about the question. Even if I brought you a full price offer, you wouldn't sell it? I'm asking them a question that actually leads them to say no to me. It's leading the conversation away from them wanting to move and sell. And by asking a question, it's kind of like forcing them to say, no, we don't want to sell. So even if I did, you wouldn't want to sell? It is a negatively framed question. What's crazy is that as silly as it may sound, that when you ask a negatively framed question, it is more likely that they're going to say no, because you're leading them in that direction. So a negatively framed question always takes them in the wrong direction. So instead, you make it a positive frame question. So let me ask you this. If you could get the property sold and get to San Diego sooner rather than later, is that something you'd be excited about? See, that's a positively framed question because I'm focusing on what they want and asking, if you could, would you like to do that? Well, yeah, that's what we want. So we're leading them to say yes rather than to say no. The second thing about the framing of it is that you're actually framing it around what they want, not about what you're going to do. Even if I brought you a cash offer, you still wouldn't move. Well, they're going like, I don't want to work with you. You're asking them the wrong question. You're making it about you. If I did this. When you ask them, hey, if you could get the property sold and move to San Diego, is that something you'd be excited about? It's focused on what they want, not what I want. So it's changing from a negative frame to a positive frame. So that's one way to help eliminate what I call the anti-magic words. The second anti-magic word is simply BS questions. And that is questions that are just really crap. In other words, they're not true. For example, let's say that they decide same objection. We're decided we're not going to sell. Oh, so you're not going to sell. So let me ask you this. If I brought you a full price cash offer today, would you still be willing to sell it? Now, what did that question just do? Well, one, that question just set you up. You mean, so if I brought you a full price cash offer today, would you sell it? They're going like, well, bring it. Bring me a full price cash offer. So your question actually invited them, instead of saying yes, to say, bring me a cash offer. Because the chances are, when most agents ask that question, they don't have a cash buyer ready to do it. If I had a cash buyer today that was willing to bring you a full price cash offer, would you sell? Well, bring them. Bring me that offer and then I'll let you know. right? You literally ask a BS question because you don't really have a buyer that has cash and is willing to pay full price. You have no idea that. And so it's really a BS question trying to get them to say that, yes, we want to sell. The problem is when you ask the BS question, you actually lead yourself into a position them going like, well, why would I hire you? If you got a full price cash buyer, bring them. I don't need to list with you. Just you got a buyer, bring it. I'm literally actually training them to say no to hiring me or meeting with me unless I bring them a cash buyer, because I just put that possibility out there in their mind. So they're going like, why would I want to talk to you or list with you or hire you or have a listing presentation with you or an appointment with you if you're going to bring me a buyer when you have a cash buyer? So by asking questions that lead the conversation or lead the seller's mind in the wrong decision, we're actually hurting our ability to lead them to a decision that will help them put in a position to lead them to a decision to hire us in a way that we can actually get them a better result, which the best way to do that for them is when they hire you to list with you so that you can market the property, get all the best buyers, bring them in there, get them the best offers, negotiate, and get them the deal closed. So don't ask them questions that lead them to say no, and don't ask them BS questions because it will always kill the magic. And the magic is when you know what to say and how to say it, and you follow the scripts, you follow the conversations, the ultimate conversations that will lead them to say yes, then that, my friend, is what you will get.